So I was digging through our old files and I found the program, this program, Beth welcomes Westmore to Reservoir Hill, June 7th, 2014. It's pretty cool. You look good in this picture, by the way. You've aged well. And I was looking at the 25-person planning committee and the 5 community partners in Reservoir Hill that participated in bringing then ordinary citizen Wes Moore, not so ordinary, but book author and war veteran, to Beth and I was thinking about how his visit here was really a catalyst in some important ways to much of the relational justice work that we've been doing in Reservoir Hill and beyond over the past decade. In the prayer that Governor Moore will lead this morning, we'll hear, "Grant us the knowledge to judge justly, the wisdom to act with compassion, and the understanding and courage to root out poverty from our land." Wes Moore has for years demonstrated his appreciation for and commitment to these values and so much more. And so it's my great honor to welcome back to Beth and to this bima the Honorable Wes Moore, Governor of the great state of Maryland.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you to Rabbi Berg, who is my teacher, who is my guide, and who is my friend. It's an honor to be back with you and to be back with your family. And Beth it is an honor to be back here in the congregation, an honor to be back here in such a blessed and a special place. I also want to say congratulations and bless you to our bat mitzvah girl, Georgia Ray. Georgia Ray, Mazel Tov. This is your day. And we are incredibly proud of you. And as you make this sacred transition from childhood to young adulthood, I want you to know how proud we are of you, how inspired we are by you, and truly how impressive and brilliant you are. And I say it with all of my heart when I say that we all cannot wait to see how you are going to change the world. Because you will, and you already are. And I know the entire congregation feels that way. And I know that nobody feels that way more than your parents, and David and Laura. It is wonderful to see you, two of our city's great storytellers, who have raised one of our city's most shining stars. And we're grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm thankful to be here, and it's appropriate to have a chance to be here on the celebration of you, Georgia Ray, your bat mitzvah, because one of the first memories that I have was actually right here with Rabbi Berg when we were talking about bar mitzvahs. And I was speaking about how I had spent time when I was finishing my undergrad experience in South Africa. And while I was in South Africa, I had the opportunity to spend time with a family, and I stayed with a family, and my buti, the brother that I was staying with, we were in Cape Town, in a township called Langa. And the family that I was there staying with, they were part of the Xhosa tribe. And the Xhosas were the same tribe of Nelson Mandela and Thabo Mbeki. And as they go into adulthood, all Xhosa men will go out into the bush, also young men will go out into the bush, and immediately as they go out together, they're circumcised. And then they spend the next weeks healing. And not just physically healing, but they spend the next weeks learning and praying and growing together and learning what it means to be a Xhosa man. And when they come back to society, they're praised. They wear all white. There's a huge celebration for them as they come back into the communities, because there's an acknowledgement amongst the Xhosa group is that a boy left, but a man came home. And I remember some of the earliest conversations that I had with Rabbi Berg. I said, part of the challenge that I feel like so many people have, and particularly so many young men have within our society, is that if you ask 15 young men, what does it mean to be a man? You might get 15 answers about what that journey is, about what's expected. And part of the beauty that I took from the bat mitzvah and the bar mitzvah, as we were explaining there, is an understanding of what it means to have a collective understanding and a collective society and a collective societal response of how necessary this young person is going to be to our future. And I was inspired when I saw the work that was being done here, the work that you've led on with Olam Ubuntu, the idea that culturally we can grow together if we build together. And that culturally, it's important for all of our young people to understand how necessary they're going to be to all of us, how important they are to all of us. Rabbi, you don't just have a strong heart, but you have strong values. And we are truly better because of you. And I know this is a congregation that is guided by truth. But it's a congregation that understands that truth and justice isn't guaranteed, but it must be pursued. That this is a congregation that's guided by truth and equity, but knowing the truth and equity is not currently a reality, but it's an ideal that we've got to strive towards. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your leadership in channeling those truths into action. And that we're all bound together by a holy covenant of community. That we're responsible for each other, that we must take care of each other, that we must love one another, that if we are all God's children, then by definition, we are brothers and sisters. And therefore, we must act accordingly. And you have made Baltimore a better place for everyone. And I want you to continue that work with dedication and tenacity, because that work has never been more important. That we have an opportunity now to work together to not just shape the realities of this city, but we have an obligation to shape the perception of the city too. That because there are people who do not know about the city. There are people who do not have a connection to the city, but who are actively working to help to define what this city is and what this city can accomplish. That there are people who actively want to make others scared of this city. That we do have news networks who want to highlight our inadequacies instead of elevating our ingenuity. That we have radio hosts who claim to love the city, and they claim to love the city by telling people not to come here, by telling people not to invest here, by telling businesses not to build here. But here's the Baltimore that I know. This is a city that is full of love. This is a city that's full of heart. It's a city that unites people from all walks of life, and that we actually have a unique opportunity now to unleash the full potential of it. That the stars have not been so aligned for this city in a generation. And if we miss this moment, then shame on us. That we have so much to be hopeful for, and I know that this is a congregation that is already leading the charge to make us better. Because you lead from the front, you rally our communities, you exemplify the plea of Moses to God as he approached the promised land with his people. And Moses knew that he would need a worthy successor in order to take his place, because he knew his time and leadership were quickly coming to an end. And as the Holy Book said, may the Lord, the God who gives us breath of all living things, appoint someone over this community who will lead them out and bring them in. And together we will build a place and build a state where, in partnership, we don't just lead others. We're going to bring them in. And that's what it means to leave no one behind. That this journey is going to be a collective one and a supported one. and one that all people are not just seeing, but their voice must be heard and pronounced. You are already doing that work, you are making that change, and I want you to know that you have a full and a firm partner in the State House to do this work. Because in order for this to truly be Maryland's decade, it has got to be Baltimore's time. And I don't just say that because I'm a homer. I don't just say that because I'm a Baltimorean. I say that because I'm good at math. It's the state's largest city. Name a single state in this country that is clicking on all cylinders, that is outpacing every other state. But the state's largest city is not thriving. I'll wait. It doesn't exist. And I've looked. In order for this to be Maryland's decade, it has got to be Baltimore's time. And that's why we're so serious about building a movement that will renew Baltimore's strength and celebrate it and change not just the realities, but the perceptions. It's a movement that is guided by faith. It's a movement that is guided by love. It's guided by service right here in the city of Baltimore. And that's what it means to stand up for a city and to build a stronger one. That's what it means to defend our Jewish brothers and sisters in the fight against anti-Semitism and hate. That's what it means to fight for every single young child in Baltimore to know that their future should be supported by someone other than themselves. And that's what it means to stand up for everybody in our state every day and in every way. I'm thankful for the work that you all are already doing. I'm thankful for the leadership that this congregation is already showing. And I have one request. Keep doing it. Keep faith. Keep working. Keep loving. Unapologetically, courageously. Keep defending this place. Keep fighting for it. Keep believing in its future. And making sure that we don't just have faith, but that we're doing the work because, as the Holy Book says, faith without works is dead. Make sure that our faith and our work will match our conviction. That we can see something better that came before us, something that those who came before us fought for, and something that those who will come after us, that they deserve. That's our prayer, and that's our hope. So, I would like to conclude with not just a thanks, but also for a prayer for our country.
We're on page 177. The governor will lead us responsively by paragraph.
Our God and our God of our ancestors, with mercy accept our prayer on behalf of our country and its government. Pour out your blessing upon this land, upon its inhabitants, upon its leaders, its judges, its officers and officials, who faithfully devote themselves to the needs of the public. Help them understand the rules of justice you have decreed, so that peace and security, happiness and freedom will never depart from our land.
Together, Adonai, God, His Spirit is in all creatures. We pray that your Spirit be awakened within all the inhabitants of our land. Uproot from our hearts hatred and malice, jealousy and strife. Plant love and companionship, peace and friendship among the many peoples and faiths who dwell in our nation. Grant us the knowledge to judge justly, the wisdom to act with compassion, and the understanding and courage to root out poverty from our land.
May it be your will that our land be a blessing to all who dwell on earth. And may you cause all peoples to dwell in friendship and freedom. Speedily fulfill the vision of your prophets. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. For all of them, from the least of them to the greatest, shall know me. And let us say,